Let the sun shine in.
All right. Okay. Welcome back, everyone. This is the Oregon Board of Accountancy. It is Thursday, February 15th, 2024, and I have 1:32 p.m. I'm now reconvening the public session of the Oregon Board of Accountancy after conclusion of a recess which is called for purposes of conducting executive session. I'll now do another roll call for our records. Again, Joe Sullivan, Board Chair.
Stuart Morris, Board Member.
Jeremiah Leopard, Board Staff.
Jason Robinson, Board Treasurer.
Haley Lyons, Board Member.
Paul Valdivia, Board Vice Chair.
Martin Piccioni, Executive Director.
Angie Hunt, Board Legal Counsel.
Board Staff.
Okay, perfect. And I'll go on Zoom. Logan.
Logan Steele, board member, present via Zoom.
Andrew Barlow, board staff by Zoom.
Perfect.
Chanel.
And then Janelle, would you mind taking yourself off mute and just announcing yourself for roll call?
Yes, Janelle Howard, CPA. Thank you.
Thank you. Looks like I have everybody covered. So we're going to jump back into item number 11 in public session, which are motions on cases heard in executive session. And then I don't believe we have any, but I just want to note that if we have any recusals that they're restated. I don't think we have any. So we'll keep moving. So can we hear motions?
I make a motion for case 23-025 for insufficient evidence of OAR 801-030-0020 Pen 1.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Rick, we have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Hearing none. Abstentions? Hearing none. Motion passes. And before we keep going, I don't see the camera on the conference room. Or really anyone for that matter. So Logan, can you see us? I assume.
Yes, you're looking, yeah, I can see the whole room. Yep.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I can't see it on the TV, and if your camera's on, we can't see you either, but.
Oh, you can't see me?
No.
How
No,
about
I
you?
thought-
Been a while.
Yeah,
Yeah, mine's-
okay. As long as everyone can see us, I think we're fine.
Yeah.
Okay, let's. You can keep going. Okay, yeah, let's keep going.
Okay, in case 23-026, I make a motion of insufficient evidence for OAR 801-030-0020 Pen 1.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 And same
There's a vote.
case,
Sorry, I just need to finish the voting there.
oh, sorry.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'm just excited as you are, but yeah, those opposed? Hearing none. Abstentions? Hearing none. Motion passes. All right.
In case 23-026, I make a motion for sufficient evidence of ORS 673170 sub 5 or ORS 673170 sub 2 sub H and OAR 801-030-0020 Pren 3 Pren B.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing none. Abstentions? Hearing none. Motion passes.
In case 23-027, I make a motion of insufficient evidence for OAR 801-030-0010 Pren 1 Pren B.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? Hearing none. Abstentions? Hearing none, motion passes.
In case 23-038, I make a motion of sufficient evidence for ORS 673-170, Pren 2, Pren G.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? Hearing none, abstentions? Hearing none, motion passes. Okay, I think that covers,
Inquiries for closure.
yeah, except for that. Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
I make a motion to close inquiries 2023-INQ-021 and 2023 INQ-039.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing none. Abstentions? Hearing none. Motion passed. That covers all the motions that I'm aware of, and I believe there was, before we
One more item.
wrap
yes.
up public session, there's one more item, Mark.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, it's actually not on your agenda, so technically we would have to amend the agenda. It's an old business item, really, that with your permission, I'd like to briefly discuss that has to do with us shutting down the qualifications committee. And just for background, what I'm handing out, because you obviously don't even have this in your materials, is what you're looking at. Oh, no, this is, everybody gets 2 pages, so you just threw away half of that. There we go, yes. Just hand this stuff. We've been getting inquiries from folks, essentially inside our private industry program. I think the board is generally aware that we have larger private industry entities like the Department of Revenue, Lithia, Cambria come to mind. Okay, you have it already. Okay, Cambria come to mind, that essentially having built into the DNA of our private industry structure, that essentially those folks would enter into MOUs with the board. The QC was the primary contact, and essentially it basically committed these folks. Nike, sorry, I can't believe I forgot about Nike, because that was the biggest one, actually, right? So you had entities that essentially committed to like setting up infrastructure inside their private industry organization, where they said, okay, we're going to set up processes and procedures. We're going to make sure that our folks are properly supervised. And, we give these, we actually are getting annual reports from these folks saying, oh, this is how many people we're supervising, and this is how far along they are in their experience, right? And they're essentially now asking, hey, wait a minute, we got wind that, QC has gone away. What about these MOUs, and what would you like us to do, right? So you have these entities out there that are still doing, from what I personally see as valuable work, right? They're supervising, the folks that we want to see. They're helping us get more people into the pipeline and supervising them toward licensure, right? But they're now asking, what's the board have to say back to us now that the QC is going? Right. And clearly, when you look at these MOUs, they don't really work quite the way that they need to now, because they're totally tied into the QC structure and us essentially treating private industry applicants a little bit differently. And at the same time, what they're doing is just as relevant as what it was before, right? So what's the message? Right, so I've been getting inquiries from a gentleman named, I think, Jim Bartos over at the Department of Revenue. Andrew, if you're on and if you can hear us, I think you got an email earlier this morning from, I think, Cambria.
That is correct.
What was the gentleman's name?
I believe it was Ying Wang.
Yeah, from Cambria, and they're all asking us the same questions. Hey, what's going on? Should we still be reporting? What's the board expecting of us, right? And I mean, I can wing it, and basically tell them, great job bringing on, continue bringing on the next generation, right? But it feels a little getting ahead of the boards to say, well, there's really no QC anymore, so just don't worry about the MOUs. We're not going to renew the MOUs, because really this whole thing was set in motion by the board, right? So I kind of feel like we need to have a little bit of a post-mortem, if you will, postlude, whatever the appropriate term is in English. I just wanted to test, kind of what's the message that the board wants me to give back to that community, right? Other than a pat on the back and saying, please bring us as many applicants as you can, just go through that normal process. That's essentially what I'm struggling with a little bit. And I'm sorry I haven't given you guys a little bit of more time to think about it, right? But I would like to kind of be able to say something with a little bit more authority than just, this is just Martin winging it kind of a scenario. I don't know, Jason, you've been in this world for the longest time. What
Yeah,
do you think would make sense?
well, so having been a part of DOR's program in its initial kickoff,
Oh, you were in there.
I helped create it, yes.
Nice.
I would really want to digest this first. I think
Okay.
we should potentially bring this back to the June meeting. I don't feel comfortable discussing it right now, since I
Okay.
haven't really read what the MO, because these memorandums of understanding were just being created when we first started our process.
Yeah.
And there was the first CPA that I helped certify we did not have an MOU in place,
Got it.
so.
Yeah, and in the interest of full disclosure, the documents that you're holding in hand, I had to research out of the O drive. And if the O drive is accurate, it was labeled as a document that was finalized in 2019. So that's 2 years after I left the board, right? So there was some kind of an updating process that I'm assuming made it through, at minimum, the QC, potentially the board, about 4 years ago. To update these, I don't know how extensive those updates were, but they looked pretty extensive to me. I saw some of the early iterations and there was a lot of strike throughs. Right, so I'm suspecting it was probably upgraded significantly in terms of the content, in terms of what you're seeing, but I'm okay just going back to the community and saying, for now, please
Keep doing what you're doing.
keep doing what you're doing, and the board wants to actually take a deeper dive into this, and let's do it in June.
That works for me. Everyone comfortable with that? Does that work for you, Mark?
Yeah,
Okay, let's do it.
thank you, sorry that I forgot.
No, it's-
forgot about this.
It's in front of us now, so.
Yeah, no, I've never seen it before, so. All right, I think we're right at the end here, item 21, announcements. I'm not aware of any other than next board meeting is Thursday, June 6th
I had a 20-minute presentation I wanted to do.
in June. Fine.
Right now.
June, make it 200, as long as it's 0 to.
I doubt.
You mean 2 hours?
Perfect.
Not that far.
Yeah.
Nothing else. We'll go ahead and adjourn our meeting. It is exactly 1:45 PM. Thank you, everyone.
You did a fantastic job.